A bird in the hand is always greener than the grass under the guy's bushes. It's a metaphor used by gardeners and landscaping people in general.
Hold on, no. Do it again like Bruce Willis.
It's hard. He's so charming in this movie. Like, he's so... like, I miss this Bruce so much.
Oh,
sorry.
Go for it.
A bird in the hand is always greener than the grass under the guy's bushes. It's a metaphor used by gardeners and landscaping people in general.
No, you didn't do it well the first time. It's just such a good quote.
It is, like, literally, we were looking for a quote and scrolled down on IMDb and it was the first one. And I was like, that's perfect. That encapsulates this entire goofy, literally kids' imagination of a movie right there.
Amazing. Welcome to Lord of the Rings Beyond Middle-earth, our podcast of the rings. I'm so good at this. And
Do we need to copyright that? I think we do. TM real quick. Put a TM.
What the fuck?
I can't believe no one's taken that. It's so catchy.
You guys, it's 500 degrees.
It's very hot.
Yeah, my brain is cooking. No, but we're in the middle of our Beyond the Middle Earth series where we're looking at the actors from Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, other films. And today we're doing Elijah Wood. And we did the vote on Twitter, X, and also on YouTube. And we got North, which arguably, and some of you said that they voted this way, because it really is Elijah Wood's movie. Although I don't think I saw Elijah Wood's name in the pre-credits, in like the beginning of the movie's credits.
Oh, I might have missed. Well, honestly, if it wasn't, I can't blame it because one of the options was Sin City, and I was like, oh, it's a pretty stacked cast. I've never seen this movie, so I didn't know anything. Holy shit. And I tweeted this from the podcast of the Rings. This is the most you owe me a favor movie I've ever seen.
Oh my God. I didn't even look at it that way. It's not like it's a bad movie, though.
No. And I say in the tweet, in a good way, but Jess, let me give you the run that Rob Reiner is on right now, and then he makes this movie. Director. Okay, so scroll down. Okay, so it starts with 1984. This is Spinal Tap. Basically, like his first full feature.
And a cult. It wasn't huge at the time.
It wasn't huge, but pop culture mainstay. Followed by The Sure Thing, which is a solid movie, and then Stand By Me. Another, like, Stephen King novella classic. Followed by The Princess Bride. Amazing. Followed by When Harry Met Sally. Followed by Misery. Followed by...
No wonder Kathy Bates and brown faces in this movie.
When she came on screen, I was like, oh. No. Followed by Misery. Followed by A Few Good Men. And then North. And so, like, North is the outlier because right after this is American President. So, like, you can probably end the run at A Few Good Men, but, like, following one of the best runs a director has had in the history of movies. And so, just all the cachet is like, do you, literally, even if you didn't know Rob Reiner, do you want to be in the next Rob Reiner movie? Yes.
Wow. So... Because, like, look at what we're looking at. Also, like, the depth of his ability to make movies, right?
Yes.
You're directing
all different.
Kids impeccably. You're directing daytime horror impeccably. You're directing men.
Courtroom drama.
Drama perfectly. I actually used to wait on him in Brentwood.
Really?
Yeah, and he's nice. And he was so nice.
I bet.
But, like... He's fucking killing it, dude. So, did you have any idea this movie even existed?
I didn't. When you kept saying North, I was like, I don't know what this is. Because, like, I knew Elijah Wood was a kid actor from Back to the Future Part 2. And someone, like, jokingly said that. And I was like, come on. He's, like, playing, you know, a video game in the cafe. Like, he's not even in the movie.
Right.
But I did not know this thing existed. And it's so crazy because this is 94. So this is right when I'm a kid as well.
Right.
And so I'm surprised like this never got shown to me or suggested or anything like that. It's real strange.
Is it a kid movie though?
I think it's a kid friendly movie, but definitely like Rob Reiner's like, oh, parents will enjoy this too.
I definitely while we were watching it, and I had seen it. I'm not sure if I've seen it for front to back in totality. It is one of those movies that I feel like I caught in the middle on HBO in the middle of the day. You know what I mean?
Totally fair. This seems like a midday HBO movie for sure. And it feels like I probably saw it on TNT and I was like, well, next. I just because there's nothing really to grab you in the middle of nothing.
Oh, you're totally wrong. Because if you see Dan Aykroyd and Reba McEntire doing a musical number in the middle of the day, good. You're not watching that.
I'm sad. I am truly sad I didn't grow up with this movie. And it's so funny because I just looked up. I was like, oh, 94. And was he play like a 8-year-old in this movie? He's fucking 13. Elijah Wood forever babyface. And it's so funny to see his Frodo faces on 13-year-old Elijah Wood.
So weird. And that's all I could think about is in 5 years, he's going to begin his journey to New Zealand. In 5 years. That
is bonkers.
I know, but he's also a stellar actor in this.
And this is the perfect, I kept thinking of Dakota Fanning in this movie, because this is a perfect movie for kid actors where they get to act like adults. Because kids, when they act like kids, is such a slippery slope because people don't like them, or they're like, oh, this kid's annoying or whatever. It's kids are annoying for the most part. But when they act like adults, they're like, oh, kids don't talk like this. But in this movie, where kids take over the world and, boss around their parents and
John
run for
Lovett's
president.
Killing it, yeah.
Oh my God, John Lovitz.
Oh, I like those. He's
I like those. What a guy. What a mensch, as people say.
He's so weird. He has, you know what? He could have gone the direction of Jeff Ross, with the weird bald guy now that does all the roasts. What's his name?
Yeah. Jeff Ross. Yeah.
Yeah, he could have been that guy, but John Lovitz somehow made himself lovable and just
he's so funny. He's so you need to look up, because I kept getting these clips on TikTok where I don't know if it was Bill Burr's podcast or John Lovett's podcast, but they're just going back and forth and absolutely ravaging each other.
Oh, good.
Just roasting each other, and it's the best thing ever, because Bill Burr is obviously very quick, but John Lovitz is just undercutting, oh yeah, he's just
it's about the voice though too.
His voice is so good, and the fact that we get introduced to him literally chasing an ambulance is so funny.
There are so many excellent. You're totally right. It's totally great for adults too, because there's so many excellent adult jokes, because Alex hadn't watched it either, and the whole time he's giggling, and it's not I made him watch Love Actually, like you and I were talking about previously on one of our shows, where it's it's trash if you don't if you didn't get it 10 years ago. This isn't trash if you didn't watch and there's only the Eskimo quote. I say Eskimo, that's because that's what they say. Kathy Bates, and referring to them all as Eskimos, and shipping off the grandfather, which is all satire, don't get me wrong, is the only thing that is tasteless. It's of the era, but that doesn't mean it's still right.
But it's also through I can forgive it in the smallest way, where you learn that this is all his imagination. He doesn't, a 12-year-old kid doesn't know anything about Eskimos,
But he sure knows that planes skid all the way from Juneau to Anchorage.
But that's the thing, is that that would be how you land in Alaska, is the planes have skis and they run into the fucking terminal.
So
I was wondering, did you recognize the pilots?
It seemed like they should have been.
They should have been. There's somebody. There's somebody. I just don't know who they are, because it's such an extra scene of hey, thanks guys, no problem. Sometimes we hit the terminal, but it's okay. I'm who are you?
100. That's exactly what I thought. For a second I was are these one of the co-pilots from Airplane the movie? It's not.
Oh, that would have been great if it was Kareem again. Yeah. That would have been so funny.
Imagine. We'll have to look that up, because I too was this is gratuitous. Who the hell are these guys?
It's a hard IMDb to look through, because you're oh, there's that guy. Oh, this guy's in this movie. Oh, Scarlett Johansson's in this movie.
It's unreal. And then you get to John Ritter as the dad. Anyway, Ben's got a list of questions for us to kind of go through. What's our favorite? How does this hold up? Da, 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 da. But just in general, if you haven't watched North, like, how would you, like, describe it to somebody that hadn't watched this movie?
This, for me, it's so funny because you watch Richie Rich.
It's given Richie Rich for sure.
But this for me is better. Like that, and that's the thing is that I missed out on like Monster Squad, and I never watched The Goonies and stuff like that. And I'm like, I watched
arguably 80s though too.
Yeah,
right?
but like we grew up with those movies. But it's just like if I watch them now, I'm not gonna like them. I'm just not, and that's okay. It's not anything against the movie. It's like I have so many younger friends, like, working at bars in LA, you work with a lot of younger people, and they are in love with Jim Carrey's Grinch. And like, that was just like legitimately a terrible movie. It made all the money, but that's their Christmas movie. And I totally, same, we talked about Love Actually, but watching this movie, I was ready to be like, maybe if I grew up with it, but I had so much fun watching this. This is the most, and this is why Rob Reiner's who he is, because in anybody else's hands, this is really bad. But you have just the height of Bruce Willis where even if he's not trying, even if he's calling in a favor and cashing in a paycheck, he is so effortlessly charming in a freaking bunny suit. And I was like, oh, okay.
That has a badunkadunk, by the way. The bunny has a badunkadunk.
And then he shows up as like the beach bum. And then the sleigh, like the sleigh driver, like the cabbie, and just, it's like, this is so good. Yeah. Everybody is doing their part. And even the Eskimo part, which is really tough, opposite Kathy Bates, I think his name is Graham Greene.
You recognize him though, because like he's been in everything.
Yeah, he's such a good actor. He was like the most recent thing I can think of is Wind River. He's a really good indigenous actor. And just and even like Abe Vigoda is and then the guy from SVU is the guy like shipping him out to sea. I was like, what is happening? This is the craziest. Everybody is somebody. And then the fact that they're like trying to murder him, like it suddenly like cranks up a notch, and
all of a sudden there's a gun.
All of a sudden, he's like, it literally goes from, the Little Giants kid being like, oh, well, what if he dies? And then just like, suddenly we're in a gun chase.
He's the Little Giants kid.
It was so hard to find him because I missed his name when the movie first started. And
Is he the one with the snot bubble?
I think so, but it's difficult because like he doesn't have a picture on IMDb, so I was like trying to.
How could he not?
I don't know, because he's got a lot of credits. Like at least like as a kid actor, it looks like he stopped, when in like '99. But I was just like, what the heck? Like it's so strange to not have Winchell, Matthew McCurley. Let's see. In Little Giants, he's Newbie. Who's Newbie?
God, Little Giants is probably still good. Because that's Rick Moranis. And like,
yes,
you can't get bad Rick Moranis.
And Ed O'Neill.
Oh my.
And Devon Sawa.
God, I know, it's too good. And what do they call her? The ice chest or something?
The ice box.
Ice box.
Ice chest. Like you're not far off, but somehow it's terrible. It's so great.
It's so much worse. So they used to call my brother the Cooler because he was like cool in like tough sports situations.
Okay.
But because of that movie, The Icebox, I thought they meant like a refrigerator.
Well, I think of the Cooler like there's a movie called The Cooler with William
exactly
H.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like he goes to like kind of cool people off at the casino and stuff. Like he's bad luck. So I'm glad your brother got that nickname like while it was still a good thing.
He was not that kind of cooler. Maybe he was the cooler for the other teams.
It's very true.
Okay.
Very true. Could be it. Could be it.
So yeah, I'm thinking back, and he's the kid who had the big snot bubble, which is just real gross when you think about it.
Yeah, it's tough. But he's so good in this movie.
He's a lot. He's a lot in this movie. He's like yelling, and you could hear him almost like busting out the mic, and he's.
But like when he's
he'd been getting line readings. I feel like
I think as the movie went on, he was kind of like feeling himself a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is fair because he's given like all the big words and all the big monologues, and he's the smart kid, and he's bossing John Lovitz around, and he's, got the suit on, and he's like, I'm a journalist, and doing all these things and holding press conferences. So like he kind of is carrying the movie, or at least like driving the plot of like what's going on behind the scenes. And so I understand why he like starts going a little bit extra because, everyone's, patting him on the back. Like, he's a kid actor.
Well, no, I'm actually taking it I'm taking what you're saying, like, a little bit more from, like, the actor's perspective, where he might have just been really nervous in the first couple scenes and then starts to get comfortable. Because, like, that first scene was like, I'm a journalist. I have to know these things. There's, like, tough. It's, like, just tough.
It's just, I don't know if they filmed this movie in order what his first scene was, but if it was his introduction, that's a big scene to get introduced in. Like, you're doing a lot of business, you're typing, you're calling, you're, like, he's acting like Perry Mason over there. And so it's, like, it's a tough first scene to come in on, especially when Elijah Wood's just like, what? My parents?
Just chilling. And I will say, Elijah Wood early on believes he's having a coronary. And that's a tough scene, too, because he's just way overacting. And
yes.
It's so Elijah Wood's parents are played by Jason Alexander and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, which is just incredible.
Perfect.
It's perfect. Like, they're also...
It's literally George. He's literally George Costanza.
And when she wakes up after the coma, she's like moving her ankle and she's doing the Elaine dance. It's very good. And basically North feels underappreciated by them, but North is an excellent kid. And so let's just put it this way. And if I were to show this to my child ever, I would warn them, never talk to the weird Easter bunny that works at the mall.
Never. And that's such a 90s thing where like,
this was all way pre 2001. This really is. Like, don't talk to a stranger. Don't let the stranger drive you home. Like,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's fine. He's a nice guy. It's Bruce Willis, but you don't let this shouldn't happen in real life.
This should not happen in real life. And that's the thing. Okay, real quick. Do you think North's dad's job is actually trying on pants, or is that like, how much is North's imagination? Because like, is that first scene how he feels or what's really happening? Because like, he has like a quote unquote coronary, and like, is everything in this movie his imagination? So like, to sum it up real quick, guys, his parents are ignoring him, and so he hires John Lovitz as an attorney to basically become independent. But the judge, who's the judge actor?
He's so great.
Oh, I can't believe I can't think of his name. Oh my gosh,
I couldn't pull it off if I.
And of course, this cast of 1 million people is done by appearance. It's really fun to do that.
Which you have to, but you have
Alan
to.
Arkin. Alan Arkin is so good. I'm the judge. My judge is ruling, and if you have a ruling, it doesn't matter because you're in my courtroom. Like, it's so
an unnecessary monologue.
Rob Reiner was just like, go.
This is my clock from my house.
Yeah. So good. And so basically he has 8 weeks to find new parents or he becomes an orphan. And like, again, a 90s thing where like, orphan is so bad. It's just like,
so true.
And so he flies around the world looking for new parents, and
because everyone's stoked to have him
everyone's so happy to have him, but everyone's like got their own, like, something's wrong with each set of parents. And then he learns that, my parents aren't that bad and happy. Like, what a 90s ending where this is a tight 85 minutes. And they're like, North, we're so happy to see you, credits. Okay, bye.
Oh, honey, we love you. Goodbye.
Let's get some dinner. Cue theme song.
And it's so, but you know what, though? It does cook. We were talking about what was the movie that we just watched that cooked too? Pirates Cooks, right?
Yeah.
You can't have this movie be any longer, because even as you're getting to the end and he's being chased by a mafioso.
It's so good where like the kid's imagination starts like spiraling out of control of like what would actually happen in this world of like kids taking over, parents doing their chores, and parents protesting the right to vote at 7 years old and everything, and the fact that he's jet setting around the world. It's so ridiculous, but it's so good.
So yeah, and the through line is basically Bruce Willis is his guardian angel. Because he meets him at his secret spot, and then become like you mentioned, he's a guy in each of these scenarios, whether he's in Anchorage or in Texas or whatever. I'm trying to answer your question, but the reason I bring that up is early on in the first family he visits, which is Dan Aykroyd and Reba McEntire in Texas. Boy, did I miss barbecue in that scene.
God, it got me so hungry. Just a big old brontosaurus rib on his plate like that.
With then fried chicken and corn on the cob and an insane amount of potatoes.
They always do that too, where like there's a meme where it's like this like table full of like waffles, eggs, hash browns, and everything. It's like every Disney Channel movie had the kid run downstairs, sip a glass of OJ, and be like, "Sorry, I'm late," and then run out the door. And it's like, motherfucker,
eat it, just eat, like touch it.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's such bad food waste. But the character Gabby, who's like the ranch hand, like throws up a silver dollar, shoots it for no reason, and cuts a hole in the middle of the silver dollar and says, "Here, you can have it for good luck." Elijah has it at the end of the film.
I know,
which is interesting.
It's good kid magic, and I love it.
So I don't think, George Costanza as dad, as Inspector Number 6 for the pants, actually tries on the pants.
I love where he's like on the phone, and he's got like a rack of blue pants, and like, "We need to try these pink pants on." "Oh, of course you do. Of course you do.
I only have 2 legs."
Yeah.
And then you see the rabbi who's practicing to see if his pants, this is what's so wonderful. The iconography or the iconography, the imagery of this film is like timeless to me. You go by each of these men trying on pants, and you get to George Costanza as number 6, who's a ballroom dancer, who's to see if his ballroom pants stand up, and then it's just done so well. It's like when you get to Anchorage, the igloos are like in the little neighborhood cul-de-sac.
Yeah, he opens his igloo garage and parks his Iditarod sled in there. Like, it's the most kid imagination thing ever. It's so good.
Alex pulled it out perfectly, though. The home that John Ritter lives in, which is the last family that Elijah Wood visits, which is like the perfect family, genuinely. Yes. They're perfect. They're nice. No one's like pushing him. No one wants something from him. They just want to provide a nice home for him. It's the same as his house, but just with different place settings.
Yeah, it's just nice. It's just nice people in it.
Yeah. But it is the same exact house, which I thought was interesting, and also, effective cost wise. I'm just trying to think, because
they go to Hawaii.
Oh, he's in Hawaii for sure.
They go to Alaska too. Yeah. I don't know what they shot in Alaska. Maybe just the airport, like some B-roll or something. Because definitely, when they're on the sled and in the igloo, that's definitely a set, obviously. But
also so funny when they go to visit the Amish people.
He's just like, "Oh, I forgot." Elijah's got it. Elijah's got it in this movie. He is, as they say, in the pocket. It's just like his comedic timing in that, where he's just like, "Oh, I've always wanted to have absolutely no technology or anything at all. Sorry, I forgot my churner in the back of the plane. Go.
And comedically, the plane takes off. Horrible graphics.
Yeah,
because you need it to just take off immediately.
And that's the thing, is that that's so forgivable in that moment, because you're like, yeah, I don't want to see a slow takeoff. I want to see a plane just zoom off like a sports car, and so you just don't care that it doesn't look great. But
the editing, the quips, the jokes, it's all excellent, and it also slows down when you need it to. Also, speaking of iconography, when they reveal in Hawaii his poster board that's burned into he's basically replacing my crack.
My crack. So good, because it's so funny, because you as an audience member are like, "Whoa, that's a lot," and then he goes, "My crack."
It's incredible.
And then they're like, well, people come to visit Hawaii and, then they leave us and and it's like kind of prescient with like all the talk of Hawaii now, or like how native Hawaiians feel about tourism. And like, I know they're playing it for like kind of like, oh, we feel like the forgotten stepchild or something like that. But it's like, there's some truth into how tourists treat Hawaii and how we've colonized it. But then I just love how after all this like really heartfelt talk, he's like, well, what does that have to do with my crack?
It's so good. And it's so weird. When he is getting shot at, too, and the guy thinks he kills him because he happens to just be in a borscht truck, that is burned into my brain, too.
I couldn't believe they did that. Like, I heard him say, ow, and then, like, the hat fell, so I thought there'd be, like, a hole in it or something. I didn't expect, like, a bloody-looking hat. I was like, oh my God, I know he's not dead, obviously, but like that's still a pretty graphic image for a kid's movie. And that's where I think like the little Winchell kid is great, where he's like, this is borscht, a dish best served cold. Yeah, Slavic. It's like he's got these monologues where he's like saying these big kid words, and he's cooking as well.
Yeah, so let's get into the questions you have lined up for us about this film. Because we could just talk about how wonderful it is ad nauseum, because it is. And I would strongly recommend, if you're watching or listening, pause this, watch it. It's fucking worth it. And let me just ask you this really quick before we get into it. You would watch this again. Like, I
would recommend this movie for people that are looking for Elijah Wood's best movie. Like, we'll talk about one of the questions is honorable mentions, and we'll talk about plenty of those at the end. But I was so pleasantly surprised. And again, I'm sad I didn't grow up with this movie and I've watched it 100 times, because I would own this movie on, like, I would have bought this movie on VHS and then to DVD and Blu-ray. Like, this would have been a childhood classic for me. Absolutely. Because like, I would recognize, like, little kid me would be like, oh, that's the guy from Die Hard. He's funny now. Like, and because that's the thing is that so many people our age didn't watch Moonlighting. They didn't know funny, charming, like ladies' man Bruce Willis. They knew like John McClane, who we like him, but he's a blue collar asshole New York cop who beats up, sophisticated terrorists. Like, we didn't get to see him, freaking jazz dancing and singing and stuff like that. And that's the Bruce Willis you get, where like he's so stood out to me in this role, where because we've gotten so, and I know he's very sick right now, and it's so unfortunate. It makes me real sad. But it's such a loss, because. But it's also nice to know we have these like forever, like where we just like live in the world where Bruce Willis was still able to act and be charming like this. So good. He's just like the fact that he's just carrying Elijah in these scenes, and Elijah's like keeping up with him, but you can tell he's just like, this is nothing. This is him laying back. And I love that he got to go to Hawaii too. That was probably his stipulation. He was like, yeah, if I get to go to Hawaii and, like walk on the beach for a few takes, like, I guess I'll do this movie. The Beatles did that. They made help. They're like, well, we want to go to the Alps. We want to go to the Bahamas. Yeah. And we'll only do it if that's the case. And then they won out. Yeah. Just everybody is so, I know this, I said this is like a favorite movie, and usually those aren't great. Sure. But everyone is just like, yeah, I'll shoot for 2 days. And that's Alan Arkin giving you the, he was on, like, it's like Brad Pitt was on set for Deadpool 2, and his payment was a cup of coffee, and he filmed his scene faster than he got his cup of coffee to him. Like, you're kidding. No, like, there's a scene, like, he's called the Invisible Man or the Vanisher or some invisible superhero name. And there's one scene where he gets like, you don't think this person exists because they're invisible, but then they parachute down and they get electrocuted. And while they're getting electrocuted, you see that it's fucking Brad Pitt. And you're like, what the fuck? That's fantastic. It's so good. And like, it came out there, it's like, yeah, I'll just do it for a cup of coffee. Because I think him and David Leitch are friends, and David Leitch directed Bullet Train, who Brad Pitt's the star of. Gotcha. So he was just like it already in makeup, went over to the next set, and I'm just kidding, but like something simple like that. Got it. And so just like I can't get over how great everybody is in this movie. And Jussie Smollett, like, I know he's not the best reputation anymore, but just like, everybody's somebody in this. Who's that? Wild. I don't know who you're talking about. Jussie Smollett was he was in that show Power, and then he made some pretty bad headlines. What is he in this? I think his name is Adam. I'm assuming because he's also a kid actor. He's the kid that like, you never saw me, you never heard me.
That
like,
kid, yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming
I was actually wondering what he was doing now, because he's really great too. He's like,
he is.
You never saw what you saw, what you did, but you didn't see it. It's great.
It's such a kid thing. Like you wanna be like, you want to be a secret agent. You want to be wanted by everybody. You want to fly around the world and, you know, be a cowboy and go see Eskimos. And like, it's so great. I love it so much.
And you see it everywhere he travels in the beginning in his playroom. And it's great. It's like, hey, here's the movie. Because, yeah, I will say it does have a little Stand By Me, very little, but it has a lot of Princess Bride.
Yes.
Right.
It absolutely does. It's literally like the kid from Princess Bride is not sick anymore, and these are his parents, and this is his imagination.
Totally. Welcome back. We got to the point now where we're going to check in and ask some questions about the film as it pertains to our Fellowship Frodo boy.
Fellowship Frodo boy. Okay, first question. What stands out as the best moment for this actor?
In the movie.
Yeah, in the movie.
Yeah. No, I know that's obvious. That was a dumb clarifying question on my end. Do you have an answer for that?
I'd have to say, I think it's the Amish moment, because like that's a hard joke to land because you know it's coming. You know exactly what's coming. Like the joke is there. It's the obvious joke. It's the obvious punchline. He's not getting off
the plane. It's insane. Yeah, sure.
But it works so well. And especially because I think that's the last place he visits outside of John Ritter.
Right. Or that we see. Yes.
Yeah. Because like I think after this he goes to John Ritter's house with ScarJo. And so and like, you know, we had like what was it? It was Cowboy, it was Hawaii, it was Alaska. And those were the 3 extended ones. Then we get like a bunch of quick succession ones. And so that's the last one. And it's just like, it might get a little tiresome. You're like, okay, how many families is he going to go to? Like you've got John Lovitz and the suit kid, acting up. And it's just like, okay, where are we? And then you nail that joke and it's really great.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just remembered, you see him in China and they're about to give him a haircut. He's not. I thought they were going to do like a Little Red Book joke or like something like that. But then he also goes to France, and I love the in-joke that French people love Jerry Lewis so much that he's on every single channel. It's so funny. But I actually think he shines when he is pretending to be I wasn't here, you weren't here. Like that whole little moment is very good. Yeah, it's very good.
Well, most impressive moment is when he's running to get to his family at the very end when the clock is counting down, and he is riding his bike across the baseball field and then dismounts and keeps running. He almost trips, but great stunt work by Elijah. That's hard to do.
Genuine. I actually totally was amazed by the same exact thing.
It was great. I was like, oh.
Is he going to ride into the forest? What's about to happen?
Like I thought, like he'd ride off screen and they cut, but no, like he dismounts while moving and like his little legs keep going.
Yeah, no. I mean, this whole movie is a real standout for him because I think I mentioned this before, too. There's a scene in a recent Family Guy where they're like, hello, the most distracting part of any movie ever, which is the kids, actors, or whatever. He's not distracting. He's fucking great.
No, he fits so well into this movie.
Him literally, like, dismounting off of that bike probably is the best part of the entire thing.
I totally forgot. I just reminded myself of that.
It's so good.
All right. Who in the Fellowship would you recast as this part?
Like, so I would put somebody else in this role.
Yes.
So it is funny that you said you hadn't watched Goonies because that's a huge Sean Astin film.
We might do it.
I
don't know. It'd be tough to not do Rudy, but...
Well, we have to see what our audience wants.
It's very true.
Because there's a couple films, and it's either Rudy or Goonies, I would say, if you're looking like substantially Sean Astin film.
Yeah.
But I think Sean Astin could have pulled this off as a kid.
I think so too. I think Sean Astin's probably the correct answer, but like, I'd love to see a kid, Billy Boyd or Dominic Monaghan, do this. Like their accents in this movie would go so well.
Oh my god. Yeah, it would be it just would be random. And you know, something about Something about Elijah Wood's earnesty really works in this role, and Sean Astin is earnest. I just don't know if you would play it with the same. I'd be curious to see how he plays it. Is all.
No, for sure. Elijah Wood was born with these big old eyes,
gigantic marbles,
and every time he's on screen, he uses them so well. Like
he can't help it. I don't think he can help it.
No. It's the biggest part of his head. Like
someone I know is one of the most intelligent, smartest, prettiest women I know. And she worked at a Starbucks when she first came to LA. And Elijah was into her. And they went on a date. And she said his eyes were just something that she couldn't handle. Like in the best way. Yeah, but like it was so intense, I'm sure.
Because like, I mean, I'm sure he's a very attentive person. And so just imagine like, so tell me about yourself. No, go ahead. Oh my God, that's so interesting. It's like, it'd be tough. Like, and not
baby blues,
like piercing. Like when you have a back and forth with Cate Blanchett of like eyes and eyes and eyes and eyes, you're like yeah.
The Arnold.
Okay, next question. Put the Fellowship in this movie.
Oh, that's a really tough question.
So Elijah Wood stays where he is. And I wish we would have done. I just came up with this question, and I kind of want to do it. We don't have to do all the questions for Pirates, but I'd like to do this question for Pirates if we have time.
Oh, that's really, really good. Yeah, as a nice little bonus.
So
I think you make Ian McKellen Bruce Willis.
I like that. Honestly.
Because the wizard aspect and always there, just like showing up.
Yeah. John Rhys Davies is the mob guy trying to kill him, for sure.
You see? Sure, that's fair. Vigo, or is Vigo?
I was gonna say Sean Bean is Bruce Willis because I feel like Sean Bean like can have that gentleness to him.
Oh,
and that charm.
Yeah. There's a little too much seriousness to him, but that's all I've seen him do.
I'd love to see zany Viggo Mortensen and zany Liv Tyler as Norse parents, like Viggo being a fitter number 6. Like I'd love it.
He would love it too, you know that.
And that's the thing. Like I feel like all these actors would be so game for this. I think
who's John Lovitz?
That's the tough one. That's the tough one for me.
Is that Merry or Pippin? Is it no? Because that's not right. Is that not Gimli?
It could be. I could see. I could see John Rhys Davies.
Elrond.
Hugo Weaving. Yes. Put like Hugo.
Scary. Oh my
yes,
God.
I want to see Australian Hugo Weaving in this role.
Is he Australian? I thought he was
I believe
English.
so. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. You're probably right. I'd always just assumed England. Maybe England claims him because he's so wonderful.
English Australian. So we're both right.
We're both right. I like this. I like that world. Liv Tyler and Viggo as the parents is very funny. Who's like Reba? Is Reba Cate Blanchett?
Yes, absolutely.
He's Celeborn and Galadriel, John Ritter, and the end parents, like the perfect end parents.
No, I love Cate Blanchett doing a country number. I love it so much. I want to see her do it so bad. Like you can't.
Haldir would be Dan Aykroyd then.
Yes, I like that. So who have we not cast? I think Sean Astin would be a great. Is his name Winchell?
Winchell, yeah.
I think he'd be a great Winchell.
I love that instead of saying Machiavellian, John Lovitz says it's so Winchellian. it's such an. You have to be like paying attention that this kid's name is Winchell.
So like that's the thing that's an adult joke, and so is like the Jerry Lewis French joke. I was like, okay.
They're smoking cigarettes in front of him. Here's Jerry Lewis on every fucking but it's so good for that reason. Like that's why we can watch it now. Listen, I know I was pushing hard for North, but I actually really was pushing more for 50 First Dates. But when it be not 50 First Dates, that's the Sean Astin movie. Eternal Sunshine, because I love that movie.
Oh, it's so good.
But this is an Elijah movie, and I was excited for you to see it for all this reason.
I think probably Eternal Sunshine. We'll get to honorable mentions in a sec, but I do think Eternal Sunshine is probably his best movie that he's in. But I think Someone who was it? Ulrich did mention The Faculty. We forgot about The Faculty, the horror high school movie with aliens.
I do think I saw that, and I don't know if I want to watch it now again.
It's totally fair. It probably hasn't aged well, but it's a decent, like, trashy horror movie. Like,
sure. He's done a lot, and he's got one coming up right now. That's going to be him in New Zealand too. It could be very fun. So
hope so. Okay. Did we get everybody in the Fellowship?
No, because we didn't put Dominic or.
I think Dominic and Billy Boyd take Jussie Smollett's place, and like it's like a back and forth. Like they're like finishing each other's sentences. Like, you never saw us. No, you never saw us. Yes, we were never here. Like you have like them just like rat-tat-tatting through that scene.
Perfect. And Sean Astin is Winchell. You said that. That's perfect.
Oh, Orlando Bloom. Who's Orlando Bloom?
Oh, crap.
Is he ScarJo? We'd love to have you.
Oliver's sad too. It's so good. No,
and now I have someone to play catch with.
What if this is not accurate, but Orlando Bloom as Abe Vigoda. No, wait, who's the judge?
Oh, Alan R. Oh, that's tough.
Okay, I take it all back.
Christopher Lee's the judge.
You're so right. Orlando Bloom is Bruce Willis.
Okay, I can see it.
Right? And Ian McKellen is Abe Vigoda.
I like that.
That's much better, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that everybody?
I think so.
Where are we putting John Rhys Davies?
He's the assassin.
The lawyer? Oh, the assassin. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this. This is good. That was a good question. Good question.
Yeah. And we'll go back at the end real quick and do Pirates, because I think, like, Pirates is a big cast too. I want to do that one.
Yeah.
Does Peter Jackson directing make this movie better or worse?
Worse.
I think so.
Because you're talking about early.
Yeah.
If especially in this era.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that Rob Reiner maybe now, like when he's not, directors lose their edge, like even Scorsese and Spielberg trip up sometimes, but Rob Reiner's cooking right now, dude. Like that movie run that we mentioned, you can't beat it. It is tough to beat.
You so right to bring that up.
You can compare it to others, but I don't think anyone can say there's like a better one.
No, and I'm also thinking like Peter Jackson up to this point is making B horror films too, and so we may be getting too much camp in this. And I will say the stakes would probably be very high when they're trying to kill Elijah.
Oh my gosh. Like, I feel like bystanders would have gotten shot, or so, like the hot dog man would have died. Like,
Totally. I will say too, I just forgot to mention this. I think that Elijah is killed in the dream sequence, because you wake up when you die.
Oh, for sure. He definitely dies. Uh-huh. Absolutely. Could the main characters of this movie deliver the ring to Mount Doom?
Oh my. Yes, North could.
I think North could as well. I think Winchell could as well.
No, Winchell wouldn't give it up.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Good point. Winchell would take the power.
Yeah, Winchell's
Gollum.
no, John Lovitz is Gollum.
And wait, did we cast Gollum? Do we need to cast Gollum in this?
Is it Gollum or Andy Serkis?
We don't need to. I feel like that's a tough distinction.
Well, no, I mean, I think you put Andy Serkis in the film, though.
If Andy Serkis is in the film, he's Bruce Willis.
That's true. Well, God. You don't think Orlando is like a better cast for that?
I think it's tough, because I don't know, because like Andy Serkis just gives that.
No, hold on. Andy Serkis is Kathy Bates in brown face.
No, I will, like, that's one that's hilarious. But Andy Serkis is Reba's husband. It's
Dan
Reba.
Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd.
Okay.
I think Andy Serkis and Cate Blanchett are
I
together.
don't know if Dan Aykroyd had stopped doing coke, but I sure hope he didn't before this film. Because they are cooking too.
It probably paid for the coke. What are you talking about?
No, 100%. And that musical number is great.
It's so good.
It's great. And Reba, we don't appreciate her enough, I think.
I think North and Bruce Willis could easily deliver the ring.
You're talking about Sam. You're talking about Frodo. You really are. You just really are. Also, Sam is such a basic name. I know I was giving people hard times for Robert, and if you're listening to our House of the Dragon podcast on our Patreon, Sam's just a basic ass name.
Yeah, Gimli, Boromir, Aragorn, Pippin, Merry, Sam.
All right.
I know it's Samwise, but still.
It's still Sam.
Also, I know I don't want to do pirates for all these questions, but Jack Sparrow could get the ring to Mount Doom. I don't know if he would. He'd definitely think about keeping it, but he'd loop-de-loop, double backflip on a swing rope and...
He would do it, but there would be so much backstabbing on the way that like you wouldn't know what his end game was.
He'd end up like owning Rohan or something like that. Like
sure. He would commandeer Rohan and Gondor.
Honestly, Jack Sparrow would convince the Eagles to just drop him off of Mount Doom. If anyone could do it, it'd be him.
Yes. That's good retcon. Yeah. No, I mean it's not just because Frodo is played by Elijah Wood. He's his bent is toward good. North's bent is towards good, and he's capable. And Bruce Willis is not the kind of mall worker that would murder you. So no. I think he would actually help him.
I think so too. And then our final question: what are some honorable mentions for this actor's best movie?
Yeah. Yes. So it is 50. It's I can't. It's just completely conflating the two. Eternal Sunshine. Because he's also a little weasel in that. He's a little fucker in that movie.
He is a little fucker in that. It is crazy, like how hard he swerved. Because my suggestion was always Sin City. Because let me look at his IMDb.
Oh, he's a villain in that too, right?
He's like a cannibal in that movie, and it's like just the craziest thing of like what a swerve after that. So okay,
a lot of actors don't do well with that.
Yeah, because Sin City was... Green Street Hooligans. I totally forgot. That was like such a...
What the hell are you talking about?
That is the most... That is like how people misunderstood Fight Club. That's the millennials' misunderstanding of Green Street Hooligans, where it stars him and Charlie Hunnam, the guy from Sons of Anarchy, and... You know who Charlie Hunnam is.
Yeah.
And Elijah Wood's an American who moves over to England with his sister, and his sister's brother-in-law is a soccer hooligan, and he gets caught up in that where they go to...
What's a hooligan mean?
Like they go to soccer matches and they fight the opposing fans. Like that's like their thing. Like they're basically gangs, but they're called hooligans. And he learns how to fight, and he learns stand your the whole thing is stand your ground, because they're always outnumbered and stuff like that. And it's a fun movie, but definitely that got teenage boys oh yeah, stand your ground, let's go fight. It's just that the whole point of the movie is that you stand your ground, but fighting isn't the answer. That's the whole point of the movie at the end. But it's a good movie.
Paul's the hero in Dune.
Paul is the hero unequivocally. It's right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I will be curious what you think when you get to book 6, though. So
yeah,
seriously, when you get that far, it's all very complicated. So,
but yeah, Eternal Sunshine is definitely up there.
Not his movie, but he's great in it.
He's great in it, and that, like I said, Sin City, because Green, other than that, he goes Eternal Sunshine right after, small part, but Sin City, he was in, they're Elijah Wood, Mickey Rourke,
right.
Boom. And so,
also another Bruce Willis movie.
Another great Bruce Willis movie. And he's this cannibalistic person who's chopping the heads off sex workers. You're oh my God, what is Frodo doing?
Jesus Christ. Although, and then Wilfred, actually.
Wilfred's a great show.
It had, I remember watching an episode, right? But it lasted a good while, and it was just the right kind of weird. I feel like him and Daniel Radcliffe both did well after major movies for them at their young age.
Yes.
Because they also chose to just kind of follow their heart song a little bit.
No, they went back to what they know of being weird dudes.
Yeah.
They're just weird. They weird dudes who love to act.
Yep.
And It's the same thing with like you can throw Robert Pattinson in there. Even like he's more, I guess, like traditionally good looking than them.
So
and, like,
he got more opportunities than they did.
But like until Batman, he was doing the weirdest things you could do. And that was the thing, is that when he got announced as Batman, everyone's like, "Oh, Batman Twilight." I'm like, Twilight's like 12 years old. If you haven't seen what Robert Pattinson's been doing, please enlighten yourself, because he's been doing nothing but small, gritty, independent movies working on his craft. Right. And that's what Elijah Wood and Daniel Radcliffe did, where there's like, yeah, I like to, there's a movie I mentioned, I don't know, I don't think it was on the podcast, but we were talking about it. I don't feel at home in this world anymore. Right. Really, if it's a Netflix original, so it's still on there, with Melanie Linsky. If you guys have not seen it, it's him and Melanie Linsky, and he plays kind of like a Dwight Schrute character. He's really, really good in it.
How funny.
It's a really good movie. I highly recommend it. What else is there? Like, he's got a pretty big filmography, because like he just does working. Yeah, he just works. He's just a worker. Happy Feet was on there, and someone like was like, well, these are, we had North, Eternal Sunshine, Sin City, Happy Feet. And someone was like, I don't know, the rest are, North is the only Elijah Wood movie. The rest just have Elijah Wood in it. And I was like, I'm sorry. Happy Feet is his movie.
He is Happy Feet.
He is literally Happy Feet. He is a tap dancing, environmentally conscious penguin. Get out of my mentions.
But stay in there, because we need the controversy.
Directed by George Miller, who directed Mad Max.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. Crazy filmography.
What I do like about this series, too, is like when we're like, not doing Rings of Power or something, like this is easy to come back to, so we can always come and check out another movie by him.
Yeah, because I don't know if we'll finish like everybody we want to talk about before that, before Rings of Power drops, and that's obviously going to take our weekly time along with House of Dragons on Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon, guys. But he has a great filmography, a great IMDb. He is an accomplished actor, and yes, he will be forever known as Frodo, but I encourage everyone to check out his other works, because
I think that's right.
Big and small, child actor, adult actor, he's got some great stuff in there, and I really, really am surprised of how much I enjoyed North.
I'm so glad we got to do this. Let's round out this show before we end it with a couple of the questions you wanted to answer for Pirates.
Yeah, I just want to do recast put the Fellowship in Pirates.
Oh, okay. So we keep Orlando Bloom.
Keep Orlando Bloom
as Will Turner. Will Tono.
Will Tono.
Will Tono. I think you put Liv Tyler as
Elizabeth
Kiara.
Swan.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you put Vigo as
Jack Sparrow's so tough. I'm okay with putting him last for now. I think John Rhys Davies. The dad is Christopher Lee. I think is Barbossa.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe the dad is Ian McKellen.
I think you do Hugo Weaving again, or is Hugo Weaving like the constable guy? Not the constable. What's his name?
I think we leave Hugo Weaving if we have extra stuff, because he's not part of the Fellowship.
Okay.
But I'd put, if you want to argue against it, I'm totally fine with it. But I put Ian McKellen as Jonathan Pryce as the dad.
No, I think that's right.
Commander Norrington, I say, is Sean Bean.
Yes, 100%.
Who else we got? Oh, the two pirates, the eyeball pirate and the parlay, Dominic and Billy. Done. Easy.
Swish.
Yeah, alley-oop right there. Who's Sean Astin in this?
Is he the hot pirate? Is he the hot...
The jawline pirate that gets one line?
Yeah, or he's like, that's the best pirate I ever saw.
Yeah, it's very
who's
possible.
Zoe Saldana? Is Zoe Kate Blanchett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're like, 2 years later, like, wait, she's in this?
John Rhys Davies is the guy who's like, don't be singing that. And he's like,
yes, I was going to say that. I was going to say he's, what's his name? I always forget that character's name, but he's the second in command. Like where, like he grows up with Elizabeth and like, he's the one sleeping with the pigs. I can't think of that.
Yes. Who you smell like it. You smell bad.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's totally John Rhys Davies. So we have John Rhys Davies. We don't have Viggo yet?
We don't have Viggo.
He's Jack Sparrow then.
He's got to be Jack Sparrow. Like, I don't know how... but that's the thing is that Viggo fits. Aragorn is not Jack Sparrow, but, like, Viggo's a weird, off-kilter dude.
He is. Yeah, he really is. And it is just how the director reins him in. Really. Yeah. I'm not saying, like, he's unstable. I'm just saying, like, he's malleable.
I'm saying he's unstable.
Okay, that's yours. Those are your words.
But, like, have you seen, like, all the cast that were like, yeah, whenever we're on a red carpet, Viggo would just come up and headbutt you.
Oh, that's right.
Like, I'm not saying unstable, like, in a dangerous way.
I mean, headbutting is dangerous.
Yeah, like Manu Bennett, who's like a giant, like, he plays a Bolger or Azog, I can't remember which one. He's like a big old dude. He's like, yeah, I almost got knocked unconscious by Viggo one day.
Fuck. That's wild. So you're right that Christopher Lee is Barbossa. Ian McKellen is the dad. Liv Tyler is Elizabeth Swann. Zoe Saldana is Kate Blanchett. Again, not fellowship per se, but important.
But we got a role there.
You need a woman. You got Dominic and what's his face as the two.
Rigetti and Pintel is their name.
Rigetti and Pintel.
Yes. Jonathan Rhys Davies is Gibbs. That's his name.
Gibbs is the pig smelling fucker. And you got Viggo. Wait, what's Sean?
He's Norrington.
You said Norrington?
Yeah. You agreed to
Hold on. Sean Astin.
Oh, that's right. Okay, Sean Astin. Okay. Who's left?
Right.
Dang.
This is actually tough.
This is really tough. Like, I'm just trying to think of who's left.
Is he like one of the admirals that like argues with Jack Sparrow on the dock, and then they shake hands? Like, is that sad that he's like relegated to those dudes?
We are going to put Sean Astin, David Fincher, Army Hammer style. Make them twins. The two British officers that are like give you all the I'm here to pillage. Is like, I said no joking. I don't think he's joking.
Yeah.
We're gonna digitally put him as twins. We're gonna make him twins for those two British officers.
I think you're wrong, actually. I think he's the monkey.
And here I thought you were gonna give me a good answer. Oh.
Or he's the dog that they try to get the bone
he's
from.
Honestly, the monkey's the next biggest lead.
No, the monkey is Gollum. Is Andy Serkis.
Yes, the monkey is mo-capped Andy Serkis. That you fucking nailed it.
That is exactly
You fucking nailed it right there. That was great.
All right. Well, thank you to listening and watching this. This is very fun. Who are we doing next? We're doing Sean Astin next, I think. Does that make sense to do Sean Astin?
So we start with Orlando Bloom. Yeah, let's do Sean Astin. Like, let's go through. Do we want to go through how? I guess it's like too late to do that. But do we want to go through how the Fellowship is announced? Do we want to do Ian McKellen next, and then I know we started with Orlando Bloom. But like, do we want to do Ian McKellen and then Viggo?
I'm trying to do hot button things I actually want to watch. Like if I
You can't say, okay. Well, yeah, we could do. Well, I'm fine with Sean Astin next. So guys,
but let's find out like how we are actually deciding this from then on. I think we should make plans. But yeah, Sean Astin, and so we'll put it on Twitter as well so that they can help us decide. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely down. Let us know in the Discord. I'll put up the choices. Let me see. Let me look up Sean Astin right now, honestly.
And while he's doing that, we just want to thank Jesse Glaspie. Can't never say his name for being one.
Just call him Austin Roy 2K.
I know, but that's not his. It's not how he signed up. He is part of our 3 Rings for Elves at the $10 tier on Patreon. You too can get your name read out poorly at the end of every Podcast of the Rings episode. We're also in the heat of our Podcast of the Dragons Patreon exclusive podcast where we're watching House of the Dragons. We're all caught up. We're ready for the premiere, which just happened the night before. So make sure you're on our Patreon for that. Also, if you sign up for the $5 tier where you get that podcast, we're doing a 7-day free trial. So you can just listen to all those episodes and then just peace out if you don't want to give us $5. Right? I mean,
listen to the review of season 1, and if you like what you hear, join us week to week, because we're gonna be banging out those episodes, and then as soon as House of Dragon season 2 is done, we're going right into Game of Thrones, and I'm really excited to rewatch all those.
Same. So that's just different ways you can contact us or, support us. Like Ben said, we do have a Discord. That's going to be in the liner notes of the show, where you can engage with us in basically the majority of the way people engage with us is making fun of my bad calls, which is fun for everyone except for me. And you can follow us on social medias or give us 5-star reviews wherever you're listening.
So I think the choices for Sean Astin, if you have any input, let me know. I think it's going to be Encino Man.
Oh,
Rudy.
I forgot about that one.
Goonies and 50 First Dates.
I think you're just throwing that in there for me, but
he's got a big part in it. Like he's the brother, and it's a great Adam Sandler movie.
Yep, and he gets ripped in it. It's really weird. He
is pretty buff in it, I can't lie.
Yeah, no, and he's very funny. He's very silly. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Let us know in the votes. Let your voice be heard. Like and subscribe, and until next time,
may our paths meet again.